Good afternoon and welcome to the Board of Park Commissioners August 7th, 2008 meeting. Call to order, start off with.
Mr. Cappers, Mr. Emmerich,
Present.
Ms. Westphal.
Here.
First order of business is approving the meetings from our July 3rd meeting. I'll make a motion to approve.
I second that.
Mr. Emmerich,
Yes, here.
Mrs. Westphal.
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, and then we'll get into the reports. We'll start off with Jeremy's report. Anything additional other than what you have submitted here?
I would just add, I did meet again with Tamara from the Senior Citizen Center on the shed. They're still very interested in doing that, and I told her once again we will tour or stop by there during our tour in September. So she's going to go ahead and move forward. She's been getting pricing and trying to move forward with writing the grant. So that is definitely still in the works, and we'll look at that site in September.
Okay, so she's up to date on the timeline, all good to go there?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else though?
That's all I had.
Okay. Sue, do I make a motion to approve each individual report, or do I do that at the end?
Do they normally, they normally just accept them?
Okay.
At that motions.
Well, we'll accept the Jeremy's report there, the superintendent. Ken?
I don't have anything else to add unless there are any questions for me.
Okay. I didn't have any questions for anything that
No,
I
I
was
don't either.
looking over. Okay. We'll accept that. And Kyler?
No, nothing to add. Just would direct your attention to what's in there and just kind of update, we've selected a contractor, so VanCon out of Dayton has been selected as the general contractor for the clubhouse renovation project. Things are moving along really well with the driving range, so we expect that to be seated here within the next couple of weeks. So I feel like everything is on time and on target for both of those projects.
Okay, and then we can get to the old business and talk about that, the RFP with the T signs when we hit there. So, anything else?
No, nothing else.
Okay, we'll go ahead and accept that. Mr. Capper's Planning Commission report.
He would not have anything
Okay.
at this point.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to old business then, which would bring us up to the RFP with the T signs that we discussed last meeting. And Kyler, I think you're saying that we've submitted that, so Sue, is there any update there from your side of things?
We had it reviewed by the Director of Law. We had it reviewed by our insurance pool for the wording. Then we sent it out to all the board members to see if you had comments back. I think Mrs. Westphal, you had a couple of comments. One was about the insurance amount, which was what was recommended by our insurance pool.
Okay.
And the other wording was as they had proposed. So I didn't know if you had any other questions on it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know if you were going to wait until Mr. Cappers was here to see if you wanted to have this sent out after your next meeting. There is certainly time with the fact that we're looking at next year.
Okay, well, if we have
That's up to
time.
Yeah, I think you're fine to wait till Mr. Cappers is here.
Okay, let's do that then. Okay. Moving on to new business. Is there any new business that we have?
Hi.
Hey.
I'm Chuck Fox. I'm the marketing director for Troy Civic Theater, and we are requesting a change. We currently have a sign at the front entrance to the park for the theater, and we would like to, we're looking to explore in trying to change that over to a changeable sign, an electronic changeable sign. And I have some things here that we got from Haas Signs. To kind of give you an idea, this is what the sign currently is,
Okay.
and then this is what the sign is, what we're thinking of doing and proposing. It would be an LED changeable sign that would allow us to be able to be more up to date on our signage for the theater and allow us to make changes on the fly instead of having to go out and open up the whole thing and do the letters. And then one of the concerns about with the letters are the sign right now doesn't shut down as well as we'd like it to. And we probably need a new lock on it, but right now, anybody could get in there, and there's a possibility people could change letters in there, and we don't want to be able to do that. So we need something more current, and the whole idea is to keep it in relation to what is currently at Hobart Arena, and have it mirror what is currently with the Hobart Arena sign.
Okay. So with the current sign, is there a power source to it? I kind of forget about that.
There is not
Okay.
at this time, but there is a pole that if you look on the one picture that's further away of the color, there's a pole nearby that there is power. And when Mr. Haas went out and looked, he thought that we might be able to pull power from that pole and put a, meter, thank you, put a meter out there so that we could have the power source and meter it, and that way keep an idea of what that is.
Sure. Chuck, did you have a timeline that you were kind of hoping to? Is there a season kickoff for you that was a critical deadline?
We don't. Our season starts in September.
Okay.
So, we're not under any gun.
Okay.
Because our first step was you to come here, and then to move forward with whatever processes and wherever, compliance that we have to do, and getting agreements and making sure that we have the correct permissions to do this, moving on those steps. And then once we do, we still have to, we're in the initial forms of raising the dollars, so we haven't actually done all that yet because we wanted to start here.
What are your cost estimates?
Bruce has given me some estimates, and basically the low end is around, I want to say it's around $14,000, on a high end, $20,000. That includes, and I think there's another, probably another $3,000 or $4,000 also for the electrical, so it'd probably be, was it 18? Is that what you're thinking, Bruce? Total?
Yeah.
Okay, 18 on the low end, but now Bruce was just telling me there's some other changes in signage that he's recently got that might actually lower the cost a little bit more and make it those things change on and have gotten new signs in. So it's kind of fluid right now, and of course this is about a 4-month estimate, so we're not sure exactly how prices have changed since then, but it's going to be in that ballpark.
Okay. Sue, is there anything from your point of view that, obviously we have our September 5th tour, and this would be a great opportunity to tour and check out the sign and some of those things, making sure that it's keeping with the aesthetics of Hobart Arena 2. But is there anything from your side that we're missing, or is that September 5th and next?
One, we would need to look at the agreement with, our lease agreement with the Barn in the Park to see what it says about signage.
Right.
Have it looked at to make sure it meets our changeable copy sign ordinances. Site distance, have Jeremy involved in that, our electricians, to see if there's other costs there. I think those are the things that we have to start with. I don't know if Mr. Titterington has other suggestions, but those are the things that came to mind that we'd have to do due diligence with Chuck.
Yep.
And I don't, Jeremy, if you had any others.
Those are the exact ones that I thought about. Yeah.
Okay. So, and we'll get into this in the other business, but we do have that park tour coming up here in a couple weeks where we're going to be going around. So this would be a great time for us to be able to answer, get some of those questions together and make sure that we can get out to that site and review that. So, I appreciate all this information. I think it's a great start, knowing that your timeline is there. We need to be, respectful of that, but I think, like I said, if you have no issues with that, that September 5th date would be a next big date for us to get out there and look at that, and then maybe we could talk about some of those other things in the meantime.
Absolutely. We can follow up with them and let them know after the September meeting.
Okay.
Do you need us there for the September meeting or one of our representatives for that?
I don't believe so, but maybe we can check on that and we can follow up with you ahead of time.
Yeah, let me know. I will be out of town
Okay.
at that time, but I can make sure someone is there from the theater.
Perfect.
And I can also make sure that, and ask Mr. Haas to be there also.
Okay.
To help answer any questions.
Well, we can definitely review that and we'll take that as an action item and follow up with you either way and let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Leave us your number before you leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd have your most recent phone number.
Absolutely. I'll get it to you at the end of the meeting. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other new business?
Yeah, Jeremy, this is Gary. This is the tree project at the Meadow Point, 3 point acres. We got the information from Jeremy. We're in the process of putting, a layout together in a presentation for the October meeting. When you guys are doing your tour, if you could let me know if that's going to be one of the parks, I could be out there and sort of give you an idea where we're going. Initially there was a talk about full forestization of the 3.5. And as we've been discussing, there's kids that play soccer, baseball, and so forth. So we've got to take that into account to leave some of the flat space, basically like we're behind at like 3/4 of an acre. And also the park, cutting the grass and everything, and I told them we have to take that in consideration. So we're in the process of doing a layout and putting a presentation together for the October meeting. And Jeremy, you had sent me an email about an on-site thing for the creek.
Yeah.
If you just send me a text, I'm open for that.
Okay.
And as primary, just clean it out a little bit and that. But we're putting things together. What we're hoping to do is have the layout, number of trees, and then hopefully figure out how we're going to acquire the trees and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the people the two individuals who come out to me didn't understand. It's a little bit bigger program, and putting us all together. So if you look at it, we're probably looking spring next year if we start something on that. But we'll have a timeline, and Jeremy's been very good. Him and I get back and forth via email or text.
Perfect. Well,
All right,
thanks for that update, and we'll continue to work through Jeremy on that project.
Yeah,
and,
any questions for me, Jeremy, or?
No, I don't think so at this point.
Okay.
We've got everything.
We haven't turned it over to the whole community yet, because I told the guy we can't bring it until you have all the answers and that we know what direction you guys want us to go. And the one thing was an open area, the other thing is lawn mowing. But the other thing I'd ask is what type of turning space would you need for the bush hog going down between the trees? You have 30-foot space in between the trees. Would it be better like 40 feet?
Well, that's why we did that. It's that big mower is 16 feet, so 30 is ample space. So
All right.
that was taken
So
into
I'm slowly getting people to understand. It just, you guys are open to it, but we got to listen down to considerations.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
We appreciate the update, Mr. Ray, and we'll make sure that we follow up with Jeremy on that. So, any other new business?
I usually wait, but this is, I'm putting on my Troy Rotary Club hat, so I'll come up at this point. And I apologize, I don't know, I know we've had individual briefings in the past on this, but with new members, it's been a while since we've talked about a particular project that Rotary is sponsoring, and that is the monarch butterfly habitat that we are looking to work with Jeremy on just north of the Marina building across from the Morgan Ditch in the 5 acres that was donated by Hobart. Since you're going to be going on your inspection, it's a good time to bring that up so Jeremy can point that out to you. We've been working with Donnie Knight from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, as well as Mrs. Boel, who is a kind of a local expert in monarch butterflies. The idea is that we would create a habitat, since it is a national issue, I guess, particularly with migration numbers going down. This was a spot that was selected. Our district, Rotary District, which covers a large part of Ohio, did award us a partial grant to offset the Rotary's costs for this, and then our local club will be picking up the difference, plus Jeremy's hard labor to help us with some of the support functions. The idea being that we want to have a grass path around to kind of create a walking path around the 5 acres. We would have little landscaped areas, at least in two parts at the entrance when you cross the bridge, and possibly a couple of more with some hardscape as well as some landscape. It is a fall project, and so the planning will be starting soon on that, primarily using Rotary volunteers to do the planting, milkweed and other wildflowers, but Jeremy and his staff, as things kind of calm down from the prolonged wet summer, will be wanting to gear up to that project.
Okay. So we're just including that as part of it? Is that what we're going to do as far as the
Yeah,
tour?
we can definitely do
Break
a
that
tour there. And just to update too, we've started, I don't know if have you been out to see the path? So I laid out it's about a half mile. I traced it on a phone app. And so we've got a half mile of trail that I've been mowing every week that's already pretty well established, walking trail through that whole meadow area. The prairie grass and the wildflower planting that we initially did there, I think we're in our third year now of that, and those are really getting established. And as we're there mowing, there are butterflies already on site, but as we continue to add the milkweed, which is very specific to the monarchs, the whole goal is to see more and more of that. So just a really cool area, a cool project.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And to encourage further activity on that side of the park, I think it's a really good fit. So we'll
Okay.
take a look at that in September.
Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. Any other new business? Well, if not, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All right.
We're done.